More of our special coverage here from CPAC. You got to recognize this guy. Scott Presler has become a bit of a phenomenon over the last few years. I love your story, by the way, Scott, because if I remember right, you were a dog walker, right? That was your job. You would walk dogs for people. There's nothing wrong with being a dog walker at all. It's wonderful. But you were inspired by the Trump campaign in 2016. And you said, I got to be a part of this. And you just started volunteering. You started doing whatever you could to get people to vote.
Well, first, I do want to say I was inspired first by President Obama, which always has people kind of scratch their head at first.
This is an important thing, yeah.
But it showed me, look, I have to be a part of our system.
Yeah.
But it was President Trump who inspired me with Baltimore, that he was talking about the city needing love and attention. And I went into the city, did a trash cleanup, and we showed that we don't need the government. We need private citizens coming together to solve the problems that the government isn't doing.
And I remember you did that when I was doing my radio show in Los Angeles. You came out to talk about how you were cleaning up
a homeless camp.
The homeless camp had been a plight on this neighborhood for years, and the city of Los Angeles couldn't do anything. In one weekend, you took out, how many tons of garbage did you get?
50 tons of trash.
Oh, that was amazing.
And it shows you, so the federal government was leasing it to the state, and so the federal government said, we don't have to clean this up, it's the state's problem. And the state said, we don't have to clean this up, this is federal land.
Right.
So nothing was getting accomplished.
Yeah, and of course the people can do this. The problem is we're frustrated because, especially, think about it, in California, they're paying the highest taxes of anyone in the country, and no one's doing anything for them. So yes, we can do these things and fix these problems. The trade-off is stop taking our money that you say that you're doing things with. And so this made you sort of your own kind of community activist, basically, and community organizer.
Yes.
I love the fact that you then turned that energy to voter registration, and frankly, doing things that we all thought the RNC was doing, right? You got out there in the community and you registered people to vote Republican.
Registered tens of thousands of voters across the country, helped flip New York and Florida counties from blue to red. But ultimately, you know, we saw that 2022 wasn't the red wave that many pundits and pollsters thought it should be.
Yeah.
And so my goal is, look, I'm not getting involved in the presidential primary in 2024 because regardless of who that nominee is, we need to have an infrastructure so that person is actually going to win the election.
That's the thing, because it's a beautiful and wonderful thing to register voters. But if they don't show up on election day,
it doesn't matter.
Right, and the Democrats get that, and that's why they put such an emphasis on early voting in the states where it's legal, mail-in voting in the states where it's legal, even ballot harvesting. We might not like ballot harvesting, but if it's legal, Democrats are doing it, and they're winning. Maybe that should be a clue. So tell me about this new venture you've got going.
So I launched on January 23rd a super PAC called Early Vote Action, earlyvoteaction.com. We're focused on Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. We win those 5 states.
Pretty important states.
We win the presidency in 2024. And for example, let me tell you, I know that many of you may be hesitant to engage in early voting or mail-in voting, but look, we told the Democrats where we were throwing the football. We told them, I'm voting on one day.
Yep.
What happened on one day? The tabulation machines had 30% go down in polling locations in
Maricopa County. Look at Pennsylvania, who also had problems in 2022. And you're so right that we told them we're throwing the football, because all of our candidates would go on and say, well, I'm not worried about those numbers because my voters are going to be there on election day. They were bragging about it. They were literally saying, our voters come out on election day.
And not only that,
so you mess with election day and it's over.
Nevada, Mother Nature messed with election day. We had a snowstorm in Washoe County, in Reno, in the mountains where Republicans live.
And there goes Senator Adam Laxalt.
8,000 votes.
Yep.
And 150,000 Republicans stayed home.
So tell us the website again, and what will you do with this?
So earlyvoteaction.com.
Earlyvoteaction.com.
So I'm traveling. I've already been to PA, AZ, NC, NV, and I'm helping to identify the grassroots, get them educated on why we need to do early person voting and mail-in voting, and we're launching an application that for this Wisconsin State Supreme Court race that I'm going to right after CPAC, we're going to have people all across the country who are going to be able to call, text, write letters into Wisconsin.
I got to ask you, you know, I always, whenever I interview a young person, I always think of being your dad. Yeah, you know, just your parents must be so proud of you in what you've been able to do over the last several years with this, and be able to inspire other people. It's got to be a real cool thing that you have this sort of bond now of what you're doing.
Well, my mom and dad are here at CPAC.
Yeah, there you go.
And they were here when I received the Ronald Reagan Award in 2021. So
remember.
yes, mom and dad are over the moon.
Listen, they were proud of you when you were walking dogs. Because
True.
you're their little baby boy.
True.
But, I mean, look what you're doing.
Well,
It's
they
a
told
great
me they
stuff.
think I'm helping to save the country.
There you go.
So,
What more do you want from your child?
exactly.
All right, Scott Presler, earlyvoteaction.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on O'Connor Timothy.